Hello, welcome to my Lifestyle with Sharon YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, a nice Christmassy thing, and I've made this homemade snowman. So if you keep watching the video, you'll find out how I make this, and it's so easy and fun to make. If you like it, please do give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Enjoy. So now we're going to make the body of the snowman. So you're going to get some old newspaper and you're going to scrunch it up and you're going to put it into a sandwich bag or a freezer bag. So you want a few of these until it's the size you want. So I'd say that's a good size. And so it's kind of this round body shape. And I'm just going to tie the freezer bag at the top. And what I'm going to do is make sure I leave a little hole here because I'm going to attach the head to that. So that's the body. Now for the head. So you can just visualise even one bit of newspaper, I'd say, might be enough. You can imagine the head in comparison with the body. So I'm just going to turn this around like that. So you have a long piece, and then that long piece will go through the hole of the body at the top. And then you can just circle that around. And then kind of just tuck it underneath. And that's your head attached to the body. So now for the white bits, we're going to have some white tissue. Now we've got two ways of putting tissue onto here. You can have some normal glue. So you just put that onto a lid of a container or something like that. And then you're going to gather in the middle of the white tissue. Just keep gathering it up like that. And then you're going to put that bit into some glue and then stick it on to your snowman. So the other way of doing this is if you have a glue gun, you've got your glue gun, you just put some blobs of glue onto your plastic bag. You don't have to touch the plastic bag because otherwise that will melt all over your glue gun. And then you get your tissue again, you just scrunch it up like that, and then you pop it onto your glue that you put on there, and you keep doing this all around the body and the head. So I discovered when I'm trying to do this, the snowman keeps falling down. So to keep it in place while you're doing the tissues, just get a bit of sellotape, put it in a circle like this, and just pop it underneath. And then it just can stick to your table or your worktop. And that stops it from falling over. I'll just put a couple at the back as well. And that keeps it in place while we're putting all our tissue on. Try and crunch it up fairly small. I've put a pile of glue on the board and I'm going to attach my snowman onto that, and I'm going to keep building up the tissues, and you'll see in a minute what this looks like. Okay, so with this, to get your right shape, you can just build. If you want a fatter snowman, you just build on it. So you can stick your tissue onto this tissue. So you just keep building until you get the shape that you want. See how easy it is to stick. See how easy it is to stick the tissue. Oh my God, that's a mouthful. Try saying that one. See how easy it is to stick the tissue onto the snowman. So if you, and this is a mouthful to say, but if you want to stick your tissue onto the tissue that's already there, it's easy to stick. Let me say that again. It's easy to stick the tissue onto your tissue. It's not as easy to say it, but it's easy to stick it on there. And you just keep building it up so you get the shape that you want. So if you want a big, fatter, round body, you just keep building on. And then we'll be able to identify this in a minute. Looks like I'm strangling him, but we'll be able to identify him in a minute, the head, because we'll have a scarf and the different bits. So it'll take shape in a minute. But this is the basics of it. So we've got some crepe paper here, but you can do anything you like. It's as long as it's black. And you just cut a little bit off. Just rough. And you screw it up like you do the tissue. That's one way of doing it, and sticking your eye on. The other thing you can do is kind of make a more roundy shape. So you just gather your crepe paper up and kind of tuck it underneath to kind of make that more round shape, which might identify your eyes a bit better. Yeah, I think that looks better. So we'll obviously have 2 of those and we'll glue them on there. So I'll just do a second one. Again, just roughly cut kind of a large square of crepe paper and just tuck it underneath so you're getting that kind of ball shape. So we're just going to put some glue at the underneath of that and stick it onto the tissue for the eye. Do it again with the other one. Nothing is perfect on this because when we're making snowmen outside for real, it's not perfect. Now I'm going to do slightly smaller balls and a few of them to make the mouth. So again, make that ball shape, dip it into your glue and we'll make a mouth. Whoops, these came off. So I'm going to, for the nose, just cut a circle out, just a rough circle. And then cut into the middle. And then what you want to do is make a cone. So keep pulling it as much as you can, as tight as you can, until you got the shape that you want. So we want a small cone shape. So as you can see, this is going like this, and that's the size I want. And once you've got your size, you cut off all this excess that you don't need. There's lots of different ways of doing this, but that's how I do it. So then you have your cone shape ready for your nose. That would be your carrot if you made it for real outside. So we'll simply just glue that. So I'll get glue on my finger, put that on there, and we'll glue that into place. And then I'm going to put the cone into my glue, so it's on the bottom. So I've got lots of glue on there. And I'm going to stick it on to the tissue. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect shape. Carrots aren't a perfect shape. And then we're going to put some buttons down here. So the black balls again. So I'm just cutting little squares for the buttons. Right, so we'll just, again, I just kind of keep tucking that underneath to kind of make this ball shape. And stick that into your glue. Plenty of glue. And just stick it into the middle of his belly. And keep going. So it's beginning to take shape. I think 4 is good. I suppose if you made him taller, you can put more in. Now we're going to make a hat. You just cut out a circle. You can draw in something or you can just do it freehand. Cut that out from a bit of cardboard. And you want it slightly bigger than the top of the head. You can do any size, of course, but I think that would be ideal. Right, so I've just found a bit of card here. Now you can have it as tall as that if you want, like this. And you can imagine, I'll just take it over to give you the shape. If you wanted it tall, you can have a tall hat. But I'm going to do one slightly smaller. So, as you can see, that's the same thing that I've just used. I'm going to make that this size. So I'm going to cut it so it just becomes a little bit smaller in height. You do it to whatever height you like. So you can see that's this is the slightly smaller one compared to the taller one. But it's up to you what height you want to do it. So I'm just going to fold this around like this. So I want to put some glue on here. Some glue on this bit. And wrap that around so the 2 glue bits go together like this. And that makes your hat shape. If you want, you can staple as well, especially until your glue dries. Right, so I've cut a strip of this. So basically it's going to be a bit wider than the hat base because you're going to tuck it in a little bit either side. So wrap it round and then tuck it in. And that's your hat. Or you could paint it if you wanted to, but I think the tissue paper is good. So that's the basis of your top. You want to cover this in black or paint it with black. So again, we'll just cut a bit of the black crepe paper. Put some glue on here. I just do it with my fingers, but of course you can use a brush or even a bit of cardboard to put it on. Or you can put it straight onto it like that. And just spread it around. So you get your tissue paper or crepe paper and then tip it upside down, and then you can cut slightly bigger than your circle. So you want to get some more glue around the edge, and the excess paper you just fold it over so it secures it in place. And that's the base for your hat. And then we're going to stick that onto there. So again, we'll get some glue. And we'll put that onto there. So we'll just turn this upside down. It hasn't quite finished drying yet, but that's okay. And we're just going to put some glue on the bottom of the hat to stick it onto the tissues of the head. Now you can have it straight on, you can have it slightly squinty, it's up to you. I'm going to put mine straight on, but you can do whatever you like, it's your snowman. And now we're going to do the scarf. Right, so I have some green crepe paper, preferably I would have red or orange, I think would have been nicer, but I'm going to stick with this. Now you can either unwrap it and cut it, or I just leave it all like that. And I'm going to cut a thickness about 2 inches thick and just cut it all the way along. Then you unwrap it. So you've got a big long piece. Fold it in half. Are you able to get all this in, Geraldine? Mm-hmm. So you fold it in half. And then what you want to do is kind of just scrunch it up. And then maybe twist it a little bit. Like this. Because you don't want it perfect and straight like this. You want it like a scarf, like a bit of material. So you want it all scrunched up. So I'm going to just keep going over it a couple of times so you kind of get it all scrunched. And what I'm going to come and do, and I'll try not to get in front of the camera, is as if I've got this a proper material scarf, I'm going to go around the snowman's head like that, and I'm going to bring it underneath the mouth and between the button, and I'm going to tie it as if it's a scarf. So once through like this, and maybe a second time. And that's the scarf. So I have some of this powder snow. You can buy that in a lot of these cheap shops. It doesn't cost you a lot of money. And so you just take a little bit out and you just sprinkle it around a bit of board that you've got underneath. So it just represents he's sitting on some snow rather than just a bit of black ground.